comes to my mind is Crosby. Crosby, very great management expert as far as total quality management is concerned. He served during the Navy in the Second World War. He talked about conformance to quality requirements. He said that problems are functional in nature. He also talked a lot about doing things right the first time. And then he talked about price of non-conformance. These are some of the important concepts. And of course, he also gave to this world concept of 14 points of management. Of course, others have also done that, like for example, Henry Fayol and other, but that's for management. But as far as the shop floors are concerned, Crosby's contribution is superb. And we also have another guy who is called as Parashuraman. We can be very proud about that guy because Parashuraman was from India, ex-IIT alumni of IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad MBA. He gained doctorate from the Indiana University. He had made enormous contributions in the field of quality management, guys, and he has his own definitions of quality. We're proud that he's an Indian and he's done a great job. Especially in the field of total quality management. If in a 2-day workshop, we have excellent trainers who will be taking the participants through all these management gurus, what they did. They have their own case studies. Our trained trainers will be covering all this. The next name that comes to my mind is Edward Deming, one of the greatest guys as far as total quality management is concerned. He was an American engineer, statistician, professor, trainer, consultant. Absolutely, the guy's contribution in this field of total quality management, you can write volumes and volumes of book about him. He acquired his some little bit introduction. He acquired his electrical engineering degree, and he was a professor of statistics in New York State University. You might think, why did this electrical engineer teach statistics? Guys, your whole quality, the concept of total quality of management is nothing but statistics, quality control. And that's where the engineering knowledge comes into picture. And he was the one who can be credited with the PDCA, which is planning, doing, checking and action. Very important quality control cycle. Initially it came as a SWOT cycle, and which later with little bit of modifications it became a PDCA. And he worked in the Japanese industry a lot, especially after the Second World War. And he was one of the greatest inspirations for redevelopment of Japan during that world. And some stories, interesting stories. We have a trainer, Prasanna, who would be explaining all this in a real training workshop. I'm only giving you a sample training in terms of what contents are covered. In fact, when the Japanese gave him money for all those, he was a trainer like me. He did host of training interventions in various companies, and when they gave him the money, this guy said, no, I'm doing something for the industry, and he didn't charge them anything. He didn't take that money actually. And Japanese, they wanted to give him, but so that money was pooled in, a corpus was created, and which is what is today being given as Deming's award, right? Very interesting story, guys. So he brought to this world a lot of concepts. For example, he gave to this world a system of profound knowledge, very, very interesting theory, which talks about appreciation of a system. He talks a lot about variation. He talks about psychology. He talks about theory of knowledge, like epistemology typically, but we will not go deep into it because we know they're all shop floor engineers, and our trainers have the knack of how to put these complex concepts in an easy and understandable language. And he also gave this 14 points of management. They're all similar almost, but they have their own terminologies, right? Jurand was another great guy. This was Edward Deming. There was another guy called as Jurand who brought to this world the concept of quality trilogy. Trilogy consists of 3 important quality parameters. Here we are talking about quality control, quality planning, and quality improvement. And he also has brought in 10 very important concepts of management. These concepts will be taken up in real training programs. Now we are going to talk about another management expert who has contributed so much in this area of total quality management, and his name was Kauru Ishikawa. He brought to this world the concept of Herringbone Diagram, which is also called as a fishbone diagram, one of the most effective tools of problem solving to arrive at the root cause of problems. So typically when we talk about root cause of problems, we are going to take into consideration certain important aspects like man, your machine, your material, your method, your money, all these issues, how each of these variables will lead to a problem, and a very scientific analysis of root cause, cause and effect analysis. All right. And it's not just that. Ishikawa had given to this world so many other things. Like, for example, we all know this JIT, which is just-in-time management. This was something which was contributed by him. Then, of course, the business process re-engineering. Even a lot of people say this Kaizen concept was also, he did a lot of researches on the Kaizen. And the next management guru we have in mind is your Gerald Smith. Quality problem solving, and he talks about how everyone in the company needs to strive for quality in everything they do. Talks about how the customer is at the center of everything about quality, process improvements. He also talks about how quality is a continuous improvement tool. It's not a project which starts and ends. It's a continuous process. And how he also talks about the involvement of workers and what all the managers should do in order to involve them better, in order to connect them with them better. He talks a lot about teamwork and other essentials. So typically when you talk about quality, total quality management, there are certain essential things in terms of how customer focus is important, the leadership elements, importance of people, then approach to quality, systematic and strategic approach to quality, whatever we do, your case in continuous improvement, database management, mutually beneficial relationship with vendors is very important, because those of you who have done your MBA, we have talked about Michael Porter's 5 forces of competition, where he's giving a lot of importance to vendors in terms of why we have to keep vendors in our confidence, keep vendors on our side, because the quality of our product is largely a function of the quality coming from the vendor side. All right. Okay. So we have discussed about some of these management experts. Now we will talk about what is the quality, cost of quality. So typically cost of quality, those are the costs which may not have been incurred if certain things had been done correctly. For example, what are those things? Prevention of defects, detection of defects, and after the defects are detected, how have we dealt with those defects? These are all important points, and we will be talking about 4 important types of quality costs. We'll be talking about prevention costs, appraisal costs, internal failure costs, external failure costs. So typically prevention costs. To prevent a cost, to prevent a defect, certain costs have to be incurred. Even in the share market, I'm not sure, many of you in the share market who deal with options, who deal with shares, we always need to hedge our risks. And to hedge our risks, you have to spend money, right? If we have a car and we want to insure that car, what is insurance? Insurance is also a hedge against risks. So wherever you hedge your risks, there is some money involved in it. People who want security, we have a security guard. We have to pay for the security guard. Therefore, certain costs are involved, especially when we get into this quality assurance, defect control and all that. What are those costs? For example, system development costs may be involved, quality engineering costs, your quality training costs, statistical control, statistical quality control costs. If somebody wants to initiate a Six Sigma project in your company, that also involves cost. But these costs have to be measured with respect. There's always a trade-off involved in that, and we have to look at what is the net cost of scrap, your net cost of spoilage, cost of rework, cost of re-inspection, cost of returns, cost of warranty, because these are costs which are involved because somewhere somebody has not done their job. These are all quality issues, right? So we will also be talking about some of the important constituents of total quality management. The constituents are like, we will be talking about what is quality planning, what is quality control, what is quality assurance, what is the difference between quality assurance and quality control. And then certain core principles of TQM. We will be talking a lot about how it is top driven, how consistent processes are involved. It's part of strategic planning. We will be talking about teamwork. We will be talking about quality assurance and host of other things. And then we will also be talking about some of the practices in multinational companies, because anytime you talk about quality, certain companies come to our mind. Most Japanese companies, like for example, Toyota is very known for that. I'm not trying to discredit the other Japanese companies, but Toyota Way has its own place as far as total quality management is concerned. We will be talking about General Electrics. A lot of case studies from these companies will also be covered in the training program. And all said and done, we will be deploying the best of all the best trainers for this particular project. So they all have hands-on experience. They have worked in shop floor. They have excellent credentials to say how their interventions have helped companies improve customer satisfaction, reduction of defects. They have enormous data to substantiate all that. Such will be the efficiency and ability of the trainers whom we will be deploying, and those trainers will be personally counseled and trained by me in terms of quality parameters. Like quality control is important for you. Quality control of our own trainers is very, very important to me as a lead trainer, right? So these are, I've tried my level best to encapsulate a 2-day training program into a 10-15 minutes presentation. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And this is Dr. Sadasivam signing off till we meet again. Bye bye. Jai Hind.